makes a good career practitioner actually? Is there a age? Is there a profession? What is something? I mean, you have trained countless of people, not just in Singapore but across region. What actually makes them tick? Like makes them stand out actually?
I would think the very first thing about a career practitioner is that this individual has a very big heart for people. I'm not saying that individuals who are task-oriented individuals can't be career practitioners, but I would say that, of course, using DISC theory, right, we have people who are task-oriented and people who are people-oriented. Career practitioners, because they are working with individuals. So those individuals who are more people-oriented tend to do better in terms of this particular space. So even if, let's say, for example, your listeners, Sam's listeners, if you are a task-oriented person and you feel that this is what you want to do, don't let this prevent you from this idea that you're a task-oriented person means you can't be a career practitioner stop you. You can, just that we have to then ensure that this person, the people-oriented part of you, comes up more regularly when you're doing the work with an individual. Because what happens is this: when your clients come to see a career coach, they are usually going through some kind of a career issue, a career conflict, whether it's internal or it may come from external. So there are a lot of concerns that the individual may have. So, and sometimes a career practitioner, when they come to a client coming to a career practitioner, they're looking for solutions. But of course, one of the trainings we always tell our career practitioners, we tend not to tell clients what to do, because we are not our clients. Our clients' issues are unique, and that their life stage, their education, the kind of experiences they have are unique to them. So who am I to be telling my client, you should do this, 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 this? Because my life experiences, my education, my training is different. My circumstance is different. So that is why career practitioners tend to use the skills that we've trained to do. We use our knowledge. We use the frameworks to guide our clients to be able to find or co-create a solution for them. So an effective career practitioner is someone who's firstly, like, go back to the first point. Firstly, effective career practitioner is someone who has a big heart to be helping. That's one. But two, effective career practitioner is somebody who recognizes that the client is the expert of their own life. And that as a career practitioner, we are in no place to be telling our clients what to do. Of course, the differentiation here is especially when we do, because some clients say, but you're the expert, because you're the professional. So true enough, I'll give you a bit of an explanation here. Out in society, we are also familiar that when we go to a professional, we should receive expertise advice, right? For example, if you were to go to a lawyer, then of course we expect the lawyer to give us legal advice, because the lawyer is an expert in the space of law. So they are able to give us legal advice. If I were to go to an accountant, I expect the accountant to give me accounting advice on how to best manage my accounting so that it's very streamlined. Then, of course, if I were to go to a medical doctor, then, of course, I expect the medical doctor to give me medical advice. So likewise, unconsciously, a lot of people, when they come to careers practitioner, they assume because the career practitioner is the expert, the career practitioner should also be giving us advice on what to do. Now, this is where the model breaks down slightly. And that is why, as career practitioners, we need to sort of explain to our clients that, yes, I may be an expert in a particular area. Say, like, for example, for Sam, you're an expert in LinkedIn, or you're an expert in personal branding. Now, this is your area expertise. But what happens is that as an expert in personal branding, it doesn't mean that Sam will go to tell everybody, must do this, 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 this. Because Sam will probably be looking and hearing the needs of the client. And Sam will then offer her ideas, Sam will offer her recommendations, and that's tailored to the client's needs. And then this is where it is more of the tailoring process and recognizing that the client is the expert in their own space. And then together, the career coach and the client, we are co-creating a solution that fits the client very well. So first point, a career practitioner should be somebody who has a big heart, a sense of empathy. This person just enjoys working with people. Second point, the career practitioner needs to be somebody who recognizes that the client is the expert of their own space, their own life. And the third thing, the career practitioner, of course, going back to what we mentioned earlier, a career practitioner needs to be someone who's received the adequate training, so that this particular career practitioner knows what they are saying and know what they're doing, and not some random thing and just throw it at a client and hoping the client will pick it up. So yeah, this is what makes a difference for a career practitioner who's actually effective.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I have one last question for all career practitioners to take note will be, we work with a lot of individuals from various professionals. So even though you did mention that we need to recognize that client is the expert in his or her, area of work, right, area of scope. But as a career practitioner, we also cannot be seen as someone who do not know what is really happening in the market space and what's
That's
not, right? So what are some of the tips, right, that you will give to career practitioners so that we can still stay ahead of competition? People come to use is still somewhat for advice or guidance in a certain context. So what can we do as individual to, be ahead of the game?
So if I go back to the article which Sam mentioned, is that as a practitioner, we need to constantly keep ourselves updated on information around. So which means to say that we have to regularly read up on information, that maybe read your LinkedIn page to know what's going on out there in the career space. Not just only career space, but different industries. And find out what exactly are the trends that is happening in the industry. So number one, LinkedIn updates in the feed is very important. Second thing is also regularly read reports that maybe governments, whether it's Singapore government or whichever government, the country they're in, to read the kind of reports in terms of the economic report, the labor force report that the various government produces, because that gives us also a bit of a picture of what's happening on the ground. So for those of you in Singapore, it's important to regularly go to the mom.gov website to see, because MOM on a regular basis, every quarterly, they will produce these infographics that make it very easy for people to understand what's happening in the labor force. So check those out because it gives you an indicator. So second point. Third point is networking and spending time networking with your fellow professionals, because the fact of the matter is this: none of us are an expert in everything. Yeah. All of us are expert in something. So if we can have the humility to actually accept and the fact that I'm not the best in everything, so it's good to actually learn from our fellow professionals. Of course, I recognize that in the professional space, there's sometimes there's a professional jealousy that this person is doing so well, I don't want to support this person. But if we just put that aside for a while and to be humble enough to learn, we actually recognize that these fellow professionals actually in that space that they're in, there's a lot we can learn from them. So that's the third thing, to actually learn from our fellow professionals.
Well, I think those are very relevant three things because personally, I am reading a lot of reports. Just like when someone asks me, how do I come up with so much content? Is it easy? Actually, it is. It's not easy at all because you have to read so much just to come up with that few paragraphs.
Yeah.
So for those who are lazy to read, you can also follow me on updates because I read reports.
Yes. Do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think that is pretty much I really want for today's session. I think I really enjoyed today's session. Do you have any feedback or things that I'm not sure moving forward or things that I should look up for? I don't know.
Well, I would think that just before I came on this, I was just watching a very quick, because in Australia we have this TV program called Four Corners. I'm not sure it is. Yeah, Four Corners basically is an investigative journalism program where regularly, maybe like once every 2-3 weeks, they will actually do a very deep dive investigative journalism into very interesting topics. Sometimes with things like some scandals or stuff like that. But I was just watching just now about not investigating, but more of showcasing TikTok. That billions of people are using TikTok.
Yes.
And one of the things I was just asking myself and having a conversation with my wife, how can we utilize TikTok as personal branding or as an advertising platform for the things that we do. So I'm not sure if besides YouTube, are you doing TikTok? So maybe.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah.
You can
I'm
follow
not
me on
TikTok,
TikTok too.
I'm not on TikTok, but that's something I'm thinking about, that probably at some point that this goes back to what we mentioned about technology, goes back to your listeners, right? That this is where we have to keep abreast with the technological trends, because we need to know what are the platforms that is very popular that people are using, and then learn to leverage on these platforms for our personal branding. So great. So Sam, you're using TikTok, then in fact, you are the right generation to be using. So in fact, I should be learning from you and asking for your help and learning how to leverage on all these platforms.
You know the reason why, one of the reasons why I also, like what you mentioned just now, one thing that really I feel for what you say was, there's competition, and I think competition is everywhere. It is. That's how it works. But I really see that it goes beyond myself. So if, let's say, collectively we can come together to value add more people, not just to individual, but also to career practitioner themselves, we can write on each other. So I wouldn't say that I'm really good with all this video stuff, because I actually, disclaimer, I'm also learning. But I guess, like you say, I'm probably still a little bit, okay lah, the skin maybe thicker lah, okay, to put myself in video. But it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah, but I think it's cool. So that's why I was thinking. So that's why I also like put forth that says that, hey, maybe we can have regular sessions. It's not just maybe it's not just me talking. Like whatever that you shared today, I think is so useful, and it's from a different perspective, because I definitely do not have your background. I do not have your academia background as well, and I think I see that. So I think that is also very aligned with the vision of CDAS, to want to build that community of support.
That's right.
Because I think as career practitioner, we are very individual in a way. Yeah. The only way for us to up our game, I feel, is really to rebrand ourselves. And we have to rebrand ourselves very differently.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Talking about branding,